think you got time. Time's never on your side. Feel your mind get taken for a ride. Nothing changed, yet no one stayed the same. Everybody's got a name, and everybody plays the game.
Everybody plays the game, for sure. Sin City. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. It's a place of exorbitant wealth, gambling, and luxury resorts. However, 35,000 people are homeless in Las Vegas, and many of them live in the tunnels below Caesar's Palace.
That's pretty cool, huh? But you see how clean it is? The casinos, you know, like they go through the drain and they come through here.
Do you guys use this for anything?
Yeah, we wash clothes. Put a bucket under it, get the water, and wash and rinse.
Do you guys take showers with this?
We take showers on the other one. You know, the other one's a lot cleaner.
This is pretty clean though.
Yeah, it's clean.
This documentary will explore the life of the people living in the drainage tunnels beneath the Las Vegas Strip, a small community of unhoused people often referred to in local folklore as the Mole People, who agreed to take me in for a short period of time.
Vegas, baby.
Good night. See you in the morning.
We promise we won't do anything to them. We won't tie them up or nothing like that. No bondage, stuff films, no, not tonight.
If you're an avid documentary watcher, you may have seen there's been dozens upon dozens of documentaries made about this small community in the past 6 years. After it was first investigated by researcher Matt O'Brien, who wrote a book called Beneath the Neon, and started a non-profit organization to help them called Shine a Light, a recovery center ran by former tunnel people.
That's my booking picture.
The tunnels have been a magnet for documentary filmmakers for quite some time, myself included. Get out of the damn way, dude. This is the illest juxtaposition imaginable. Think about it. Are you thinking about it? And to me, the public fascination about the tunnels makes complete sense. Between Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the legendary New York documentary, Dark Days, which documented the Freedom Tunnels in Harlem in the late 90s, and the underground post-apocalyptic gameplay in the Fallout series, it's safe to say that we all share a mutual fascination with hidden, underground, subterranean living. But still, I was hesitant to make a Vegas tunnels video, much like I've been hesitant to make a video about the gathering of the Juggalos, or Slab City, California. Sheer journalistic oversaturation. But there were a couple factors that made me feel like it was worth it. The main factor being that it is illegal to be homeless in Las Vegas. Our previous videos on homelessness explored the streets of San Francisco and Philadelphia, where in certain sections of town, homelessness and public drug consumption are decriminalized. And for some reason, police turn a complete blind eye to hellish street scenes, resulting in visually grotesque viral videos and national headlines declaring a state of emergency. But Las Vegas, on the other hand, has just as many homeless people as Philly and San Francisco, but it's not a progressive city and is much different in terms of policy. In Vegas, Metro PD militantly enforces what are called vagrancy laws that essentially make it illegal to be homeless, homeless being defined by excessive loitering, panhandling, or reselling items like snacks or water.
Because they're actually engaging in a business, none of them are licensed typically, and then there is an issue, of course, with the source of their water.
Upon your first arrest, you're given a misdemeanor, but after your third arrest, you're given 6 months in county jail and a $1,000 fine. So it's for this reason, in addition to the intense summer heat, that many of the city's homeless have sought refuge in the tunnels underground.
This is our shower.
But that being said, I felt like highlighting this contrast between homelessness in progressive cities versus in Las Vegas still wasn't enough to warrant a full-blown documentary on my end. After all, if I've learned one thing as a journalist, it's that raising awareness as a motif is borderline useless in almost all cases, and simply humanizing a perhaps misunderstood, controversial, or impoverished interview subject really does nothing to actually help them in the long run. And that's not to say that I regret any previous work that I've done. I just think that in this stage of my life, if I'm gonna document someone actively struggling, I feel a responsibility to at least try to help them. So this in mind, I figured that if I was gonna do this documentary, my goal would be to actually help the tunnel dwellers and provide a model for future solutions to homelessness that go beyond bologna sandwiches and prayers. So in this episode, we'll not only learn about life in the tunnels, but also how they eat, how they work around Las Vegas's vagrancy laws to earn money, what the current options are for recovery, and ultimately help them navigate through what they say is the #1 obstacle that's kept them homeless: the inability to get a valid ID or driver's license in the state of Nevada.
Smile!
Alrighty, thank you very much.
Not a single person living in the tunnels had an ID. And though it might seem like a somewhat trivial item to some of you, without an ID, you can't qualify for housing, be admitted to shelters, work day labor jobs, open a bank account, buy cigarettes, or receive any type of government aid. And so the second half of this episode will be spent above ground, devoted entirely to getting as many people in the tunnels IDs as we could. Which, as you'll learn, is a painstaking, nearly impossible process to go through without a housed co-signer like myself. Anyways, let's back up a bit to the afternoon of October 5th, just a couple hours before I entered the tunnels, hanging out with my old buddy, Mr. Daddy.
Las Vegas, Nevada. Hot Las Vegas, Nevada. A city of lust.
Vegas! Woo! They call it Sin City for a reason. This is where you come to see titties. Black titties, white titties, yellow titties. I love all titties. This is the place.
A city of opulent wealth and excessive gambling. A playground for billionaire playboys like Chris Angel Mindfreak, Dan Bilzerian, the Blue Man Group, David Copperfield, and alleged slip and fall con man Farhad Naqvi.
Mark Wahlberg is with her.
No fucking way.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg's out here now. Vegas!
What's new, bro?
Man, a lot of things. They grew like an inch or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, hello.
It's been a couple years.
I know, right? It's been a minute, homie.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you been?
Midway through this interview, I had a shocking revelation, which is that many new Channel 5 fans may not know who Mr. Daddy even is.
My name is Mr. Daddy. This is my favorite dance move.
For reference, I met Mr. Daddy about 4.5 years ago when I was shooting on Fremont Street in Las Vegas for a show called All Gas No Brakes.
So you've never done drugs before? Do you want to? Because I got the Pepsi challenge.
What's that mean?
I mean, I got Coke. Yeah. Have you ever boofed before?
This was one of the first All Gas No Brakes Instagram clips to go viral in 2019 and inspired multiple future collaborations.
You remind me of a cigarette.
Why?
Because I want to get you fucking lit and then put your butt in my mouth.
And even resulted in Mr. Daddy hosting his own segment. And after the country shut down for COVID, we even took the show virtual.
We all glow boys, you know, glow side, turf side, glow girl.
Hey, yo, Terp. If Corona doesn't take you out, can I?
But as 2020 kicked off and became a year from hell from a political standpoint, I guess I lost touch with Mr. Daddy. But Mr. Daddy's a great man, and so I'm happy to reintroduce him.
How you been?
I'm good, bro. What's new in your life?
I'm working on a sketch comedy TV show right now. Also, I've been 5 months sober, you know, off the alcohol, which is good. Yeah. The Las Vegas diet, you know.
What's the Las Vegas diet?
So you know what California sober is, right? It's like when you only smoke weed, you don't do drugs.
Yeah.
So Las Vegas sober is when you don't drink alcohol, but you still do the drugs. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Type shit all the time. So
Yeah.
The Pepsi challenge, right? What's going on with you?
Just in Vegas making a documentary.
Okay, on what?
Like the people who live below the city in the tunnels.
The mole people?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Are you gonna go in there?
Yeah, I'm planning to.
That's sketchy as fuck. You went to Ukraine during the bombings and shit, so I guess the tunnels. I don't know, bro. That's just gonna be scary as fuck down there. That's what I heard. I heard there's like thousands of people. They like snatch you up, do smut films and shit.
Yeah.
Bring some loot, bro, because I don't think they got any down there.
From what I could gather by the way Mr. Daddy explained the tunnels, they seem to exist as a no man's land in the local imagination, a forbidden place shrouded in dark mythology. Growing up in Seattle as a teenager, we had a place like that too, called the Jungles, a lawless tent city beneath Interstate 5 that we somehow grew up believing was full of psychotic child molesters and escaped prisoners who would happily strangle us with our own intestines if we so much as came within stabbing distance of their jurisdiction. Of course, in reality, the Jungles were just a pretty normal West Coast tent city, full of mostly down-on-their-luck drifter types. But because of the absurd rumor mill speculation and horror stories told about this forbidden place, we were essentially led to believe there were actual monsters down there, and I think the situation in Vegas is quite similar.
You know, it's just like a folklore kind of situation right here in Vegas, you know? Like, I've been here 15 years, and I've never been in there, and I don't really know anyone that's ever gone down there. I heard there's, like, thousands of people that have, like, these mansions set up, and, like, you come in there and you get stabbed. Yeah, there's snuff bills, like, they'll come out at night, snatch your children, they'll give you pink eye. They got, like, solar panels, and they get tax deductions from, like, selling people's jewelry and shit.
I've definitely heard that they come out at night and they either snatch children off the streets or like they'll grab you and they'll give you like diseases or other things. I've heard some fucked up things, like they're not real people, they're all like dismembered, it's all like a big incest ring of just rat people underground. Like,
I've actually got a blowjob from one of them before. No.
What have you heard?
They're rapists, like they steal from you, like even from my own mom.
Hey, you guys talk about tunnel people?
Yeah, we are.
I live in the tunnels.
What a vibe.
This is Glenn, one of the longest living residents of the tunnels, who, thanks to the help of fellow YouTube-based journalists Tommy G and Brandon Buckingham, I was able to arrange a meetup with, on the same casino bridge where I met up with Mr. Daddy.
Are the mole people real?
Those are real.
Do they eat the kids that they take at night?
No.
No. I've heard that they actually go blind because they never see sunlight, so they're just always in the dark down there.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
But we do have snuff films down there.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's always a good event to be invited to.
How long have you lived there?
I've been there since 2013. 10 years.
Wow. Do you like it there?
No, I don't. I'm actually leaving there. This week I should be out of there.
What was keeping you in there?
Drugs.
Understandable. What kind of drugs?
Just meth, marijuana. There's other drugs there, but I don't do them. The heroin, the blues. I don't mess with them. That's too hard.
In our prior communication, Glenn said he would give me a complete tour of the tunnels and even let me stay overnight, as long as I didn't portray his community in a sensational or dehumanizing light, which I had no plans to. So we drove from the Las Vegas Strip to the western tunnel entrance, which is at the base of the Rio Casino.
How many tunnels are there?
Right here, there's 6. At the 6th way, they turn into two big tunnels.
Glenn explains that while there's hundreds of miles of drainage tunnels in Las Vegas, the primarily inhabited tunnel is only about 1.5 miles long and runs from the base of the Rio beneath the Strip and lets out behind the Link Hotel.
Do different tunnels have different rules, or it's kind of just one thing?
Pretty much all the rules are the same. No stealing. Pretty much that's about it. Just respect everybody. Don't steal people's stuff.
What happens if you find out someone stole somebody's shit?
We usually send them on their way, kick them out of the wash.
Yeah.
But you gotta be 100% positive that they stole it, you know?
Yeah. Have you had to kick somebody out recently?
Absolutely, yeah.
What'd they take?
We have, I believe, a speaker. I think it was a speaker and a phone.
Yeah.
Andrew, by the way.
Andrew.
What's your name?
Andrew.
Andrew. 2 Andrews.
I go by Drew.
Hell yeah, sick. How long have you been playing guitar for?
I picked it up in 1983.
Yeah.
And I was kind of old for I was 18 by then, and usually kids in the 70s are, 14, 15, and
yeah.
Got some good songs.
You make your own music?
Yesterday, just a memory away. Does tomorrow really come? I've heard that time can ease the troubled mind, but if tomorrow doesn't come, you don't feel your mind unravel. You know tomorrow travels a lonely path around the sun. And if tomorrow fades away, well, we still have today. But if your dreams become your shattered dreams, because tomorrow never comes, well, now your dreams away. That's because tomorrow takes a lonely path around the sun.
Seems like people here are in pretty good spirits, huh?
But yeah, pretty much we are, considering the situation we're in.
Yeah.
You know, some of the people prefer to be down here. They like it.
You think some people prefer to be homeless?
Yeah, absolutely. And some do, actually.
If you could theorize, why do you think some people prefer that?
Drugs, able to do whatever they want, when they want. A lot of people that way.
So you think even if they got offered housing, they'd be like, no?
Yeah, absolutely. There are some that refuse it, yeah.
Really?
Absolutely.
For what reason, you think?
Just they don't want no rules. They don't want to be told what to do or anything like that. This is where my good friend Animal died just like a month ago.
How did he pass?
OD'd, I guess. We haven't gotten the toxicology report, but yeah, he pretty much, he OD'd. And he's the guy I used to scrap with all the time. Yeah. He's a close friend of mine. And he also, he was the guy that was on the Strip. I don't know if you ever saw it on the news and everything. Superman knocking the guy out.
A fight scene with superheroes plays out on the Strip, and now this video is making the rounds on Facebook. 13 Action News reporter Brian Callaghan spoke to street performers about how often they have to deal with this stuff while they're just trying to earn a living.
That's him.
Really?
Yes, Animal. Yeah, that's who just passed away. Oh, fentanyl.
Damn. Is that how a lot of people are dying down here?
Yes, they are. People are getting in mess and everything, and and dying. There's 2 that was just died up on the ledge here. Found a bag of Coke. They thought it was a Coke on the strip. And they snorted a line of it and it killed them.
Killed them both?
Killed them both. I mean, it looks just like meth. I don't even want to do meth anymore.
Yeah.
So tired of it. Tired of the way people look at me and everything like that.
When you smoke meth?
Yeah, well, yeah, just being homeless and everything. They look at you a whole different way. The undesirables, they call us, or the mole people. I used to be the man back in the day. Just to let you know that, until my friend was shot and killed. My connect and my best friend, 5 years ago.
This doesn't seem as scary as people were saying up there.
It's not at all. I mean, you're going in the back, there's a lot of good art back there. The art gallery, and then a lot of people from all over the world come in and to look at the art gallery and video.
Yeah. You think it's cool if I sleep here for the night?
Absolutely. There's plenty of room. You crash out and get up in the morning, and some people say that there's spirits and everything in here. I've never personally myself saw one, but a lot of people have said they saw them. Or it could be really good drugs.
Glenn explains that much of the spirits they say that are in the tunnels aren't the spirits of dead children that were in snuff films or anything, but of homeless people that have died during floods. After all, the original purpose of these tunnels was to allow rainwater to drain and to prevent the streets of Las Vegas from flooding. But now, every time it rains in Vegas, someone dies in the tunnels.
Police do post warning signs around the tunnels and washes before these major storms, but Banghart says sometimes that's not enough.
3 years ago, 4 people died at the Swenson tunnels, and I knew 3 of them. The water comes so fast and catches them off guard.
So water rushes down this whole thing?
It gets up about around this high, usually about that high. But it's gotten higher, and the higher it gets, stronger it is.
So if you're passed out or something, you could drown?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But we always warn each other about that. Yeah. And but when you're trying to get your stuff out and everything, that water comes, you can be washed away. Come on in your bed. You crash out over there for the night. We'll put your bed up over here. You lay down and try to get some sleep, because first night here, you might want to keep one eye open. You never know. Just kidding. Sure. You'll be safe amongst us. Yes.
Yeah, I feel like you guys will look after me.
Yes, we will.
All right. It's a pretty nice place to chill. Thanks for the comfortable bed, guys. I appreciate it. No problem. It's actually more comfortable than I thought it would be. Got a cool, like, 5-inch cotton pad right here. It's nice and cool. It's about 110 degrees outside, so it's better to be here than up there for sure. I guess you guys meet me back here in the morning. We'll give some food out, go to the scrapyard, do a bunch of stuff. See you guys in a bit. All right, bye-bye. Any last words?
Vegas, baby.
Catch you guys in a bit.
And we do have a championship team now.
See you in the morning. See you in the morning.
We promise we won't do anything to them. We won't tie them up or nothing like that. No bondage, stuff films, no, not tonight.
Someone said, what the hell is wrong with you? Walking dead with nothing left to lose. Nothing gained, and no one left to blame.
Top of the morning to you. How you doing?
How's it going, man?
Good to see you.
Yes.
It was fantastic. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, yeah.
Nice. Unbeknownst to the tunnel people, I'd phoned a friend to come and give out food, supplies, and beyond.
Hey, this is Cripmac's Mama Bear, and we're out here in the tunnel, and today I brought a bunch of items that they can utilize under there that maybe they don't get usually, and make them feel human, of course.
For those unfamiliar, her son, Cripmac, is currently serving a sentence in a federal facility for firearm possession. However, from behind bars, his one request to her was to continue his mission of feeding the people and giving back to the homeless.
In the bag, they have a toothbrush, wipes, there's hand sanitizer, popcorn, noodles, we have a banana, an orange, an apple, and a granola bar.
Yeah, I see you brought these too for the...
Oh, for the ladies, for the lady people. Some tampones, and then a little sucker, you know, for that sweetness that you need during that time of month. Okay, so come on up and grab a drink, and good morning, I'm Crystal. Hi, Andy. Andy, my girl. Okay, so I got some for you, Mama. And if you stick around about 20 minutes, I have pizzas coming.
Do you?
Yes, please, consider it. Do you want ice water as well?
Yeah,
Why did you choose to live in the tunnels?
because it's out of sight. It's safe, and they take care of each other down there. If they know that someone freaking, you know what I mean, you don't want to be around and stuff, when they come, you know what I mean, they'll freaking, like, tell them to kick rocks and shit, you know what I mean, they won't let them near you, you know. I have a boyfriend, I actually have 2 kids by him, and he freaking was really abusive, really physically abusive, and he will kill me. And he showed back up after, like, about 2 years. We know someone that stays down that way, and I think freaking they told him where I was. I don't know, when he did, CJ and Frankie was out there with me, and I freaking stood up. I was like, Frankie, don't let him near me, because he planned on killing my ass, literally.
So for you, it's almost like you get protections living down there.
Yeah. Better than freaking the cops can do, because by the time freaking I get to a phone to freaking call, you know what I mean, I'll already be dead. Even if you get a freaking restraining order against them and stuff, once they get to you, you don't have time and cops to respond, you know what I mean, before anything happens.
How long were you guys together for?
Probably like 6-7 years. Narcissists, they don't freaking act that way at first. They wait a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then they change. And then freaking you have hope that they'll go back to the way they were. And so you freaking lie to yourself and lie to everybody around you. But the truth is they'll never go back that way, because that wasn't who they really were. And this last time I left him, I didn't charge my phone for 3 weeks, because I knew if I talked to him, went back to him, knowing the fact that he'd probably kill me one day. And that's scary.
Woo, what us women do, we go back. It's gonna be different this time, right?
But it ain't.
Different,
It ain't. You have to almost freaking trick your own mind into not doing it.
I have an ex-husband who is a classic case of a narcissist, and I just learned a lot about myself dealing with him, what I was willing to deal with.
Fuck you, Mr. Gary.
And you learn a lot about what the freaking human body is capable of freaking going through and capable of doing.
Right.
I've had several head lacerations. One caused me muscle spasms for weeks, so freaking sometimes when people say stuff, it takes like a second for it to register, and freaking time is inconsequential to me at this point. It's just who you spend it with, and it's how you know, what you do with your time while you're here, you know what I mean?
Of course, you're so right. You're so right about that.
I got a new boyfriend now who's awesome. He's in jail right now, though.
Okay.
And so I'm pretty much been staying in the tunnels here lately, especially without him here and stuff, in case my ex shows up or whatever.
Do the cops come here a lot, the Metro cops, and bust stuff up?
They didn't used to, but here lately they've been coming a lot, and like giving people trespassing tickets, or like taking you to jail for trespassing.
The number of people living in some flood control tunnels beneath the valley is down quite a bit in the last couple of months.
Trespass notices go up around washes and tunnels.
Which if you don't have a warrant, you usually get out in like 4 hours and just have a court date. But if you have a warrant, you usually do at least 3 days before you get out.
I overheard you guys talking about IDs earlier. Do you have an ID right now?
Well, for one, I never had an ID in this state, so I have to get my birth certificate from another state, and then you have to have 2 forms of ID to get your social security card. So then I have to get some kind of paper from the hospital, and then that with my birth certificate, I can get a social security card, and then with my social security card and birth certificate, I can get an ID.
As she explained, when you have no documents to your name, the arduous process of getting an ID in Nevada begins primarily by retrieving a printed copy of your birth certificate from your home state, which, just to request, from the state of Tennessee, for example, where the woman we interviewed was born, requires a photocopy of a government-issued ID card to verify to the records office that it's really you asking for your own birth certificate. And if you have no way to prove it, you can't get it. However, there is a service called Vital Check that allows you to circumnavigate the verification process, but it requires a physical mailing address and a $45 credit card deposit.
$45, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give you the money for that if I want to do that, but I'm actually going to make it $55 because who can't use an extra 10, right? 55 is a good number.
Acquiring the birth certificate is just the first step. From there, if you have no home address, you have to get a receipt with your name on it from an in-state medical provider, which usually means going to an urgent care for a single $100 checkup.
I have to go to the hospital, get another form, some kind of paper from the hospital.
With both that medical receipt and your birth certificate, you then go to the Social Security office and apply for a Social Security card, which is free. Once you get that, you can finally go to the licensing center and apply for an official state ID. And assuming you have a place to send it to and $20 to pay the fee, you'll finally have one.
So in other words, would it be fair to say that you need an ID in order to get an ID?
Yes.
How does that make sense? Okay, you say the first thing we need to get the $45 for Tennessee?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be back in a week, and we're gonna get that taken care of for you. I'm putting it out there, and in your name it's Bird, and I remember it, and I'm Crystal, and we'll take care of that. The first step I'll help you with.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Let's get some more stuff here. Pizza! Anybody want pizza? We got pizza! Come get your pizza, come get your pizza. Ow! Glenn is dancing. Come on, dance with me, Glenn. All right, no more for you, Glenn. You're emptying my whole pack.
I wanted to interview some more people who lived in the tunnels. They seem to be a pretty tight-knit community, and one that looks after one another. Thankfully, Mama Bear was already more or less acquainted with the power couple of the tunnels, Andy and her boyfriend, Boxer, who's kind of like the bouncer of the underground.
My real name is Jesus Martinez, but everybody calls me Boxer. I don't like people who come down and hurt people, you know, rob them or rape or whatever, you know. That's not cool. You're not right, you know. I gotta make sure to let them know, hey, you might be a crazy lunatic. That's okay. I can handle you. No problem. Hell, if I can handle my girl, I can handle you. I've been in front of guns. I've been in front of knives. I got hit with bats, you know. I'm still here.
Why do they call you Boxer?
Because I used to box. I used to box professionally. I used to do MMA too. Now I'm 54. Ooh, I'm getting old to climb these steps, but hey, a young one who wants to dance, let's go, buddy. I was fit for it.
You like it out here?
I love it out here. You get on a roller coaster, hold on, you're going for a ride, right?
What are some of the main challenges you face living in the tunnels?
Floods. Yeah, floods. Rain. When it comes in rainy season, we get a lot of water coming through. Everything gets washed away. Animals, kittens. She lost a couple kittens already.
And this one kept trying to tell me where she was, and I didn't catch it. And she was like sisters to this one and that one.
Yeah, this is Thumper.
She was born on March 6th.
You just got to be careful.
Do you guys deal with any harassment from the police?
Oh my God, almost every other day. They just come in, grab you, go through your stuff, and take you to jail.
State of Nevada versus Andrea Cook, 20 CR 012761.
Andrea Cook is far from a violent person.
I got a few tickets for trespassing.
They say, we're going to get you trespassing, we're going to get you for this. Why? What are we doing to you? We're doing what you said, out of sight, out of mind.
How do you make money living down here?
Scrap. We scrap for metal, we scrap for copper, we scrap for aluminum, whatever we could sell.
So you kind of just walk around, grab cans, and then take them to the recycling plant?
Garbage cans, we go through them, look for aluminum cans. People throw away money, they don't know it.
How much can you make on a good day scrapping?
In scrapping, you can make a good day up to $250 to $300.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of people throw away like wires and stuff like that. That's copper. Copper's higher than anything else right now.
So if somebody wants to come here and help you guys, what do you need most?
First thing first, friendship and a handshake. How you doing? That'd be the best thing of all. Second thing, people's respect and a smile from them. You don't get that no more now these days. You can't say, hey, how you doing? They just look at you mean or whatever, you know. I don't know you, you know. What happened to the older days where you say, hey, how you doing, you know? Yeah, that's what I miss. A lot of people just forget they're too stuck on either working or on themselves.
Despite being treated like undesirables by the general public, Boxer and Andy say they more or less enjoy their life in the tunnels.
For the most part, it's not bad because it's cooler during the summertime, it's warmer in the winter, and you are out of officer spaces. There's nothing really crazy that happens down here. People die because they make bad choices sometimes, or because it's that time for them, or whatever. I mean, people get high and they act like they're out of their mind. I have seen people die over that though. Heroin/blues.
When did you see like blues start to come on the scene?
You know what? I didn't even know what those were until 6 months ago, maybe. Yeah, we don't allow that down here. We've had a couple friends die down here doing that.
Following the death of Joker and Animal, Boxer and Andy decided to change the rules of the Rio tunnels to make it no fentanyl, heroin, or blues, which are fentanyl pills, allowed.
And so everybody said, no, anybody who does that, they're not allowed over here.
So these particular tunnels, there's no blues, no heroin?
No, they're not allowed here.
Blues or heroin here, no. You want to smoke weed, fine, go inside the tunnel. You know, things like that, but...
In these tunnels, there's really only 2 drugs allowed.
Meth and weed.
It's almost hard to imagine that we're living in a world where now meth is considered to be a soft drug, but I guess that's what fentanyl and tranq have done.
How long have you been out here for?
Too long. Good intentions, just really poor choices, I guess. Following a man.
How many years ago was that?
Like 6, maybe 7.
6 or 7 years?
Unfortunately.
How come you say unfortunately?
Because I'm in a tunnel. Help asked me, they were like, do you have any mental issues? And I live in a tunnel. What do you think? We try to be a good group of people and help one another and, like, you know, do what we can, but, like, we're still the undesirables, you know. If you get back to a certain area back there, you can dig and dig and dig. It's not concrete, and they call it the graveyard. A lot of people were killed and buried out there.
What do you think were the biggest factors that landed you on the streets?
Well, we come up here, I just bought a truck with my taxes, and we come up here and we did like day labor all the way from Alabama or Mississippi to here. My truck had a clean title to it, and it didn't have a tag on it, so when we got pulled over one day, they wound up towing it, and I just couldn't get it back out. It just cost too much money.
So what happened next?
We were here on the streets. We were doing good until then, but they noticed that the tag was out of date, and they pulled us over.
Do you have any plans for the future?
Of course. Get off the streets. If I can get my ID, like when I got here, my purse got stolen. It had my license, my social security card, it had everything in it. And if I had my ID, I'd be working. Not to say I wouldn't be in here, but I'd still be working.
Yeah, we talked to Jay as well, and it seems like it's pretty hard to get an ID when you're living on the streets.
It really is. It's very hard.
Earlier in the year, way before we actually filmed this video, I went to the tunnels. I think it was in May of 2023. And I went to go meet up with this guy named Jay. The conversation with Jay was actually quite interesting, but it mostly actually revolved around the difficulties in getting an ID. So I figured it'd be good to bring back for the purpose of this segment.
My name is Jay. I've been down here like probably 9 years, and that's nothing to be proud of, but like you get stuck. When I say stuck, I mean it's absolutely shockingly amazing to me how hard it is to get an ID with no ID. I mean, they can put you in jail, they know you are who you say you are, but you can't get an ID. And with no ID, guess what? You can't do anything. You can't work, you can't get an apartment, you can't do anything. I mean, and you're automatically a criminal. I look at it that way. I'm 47 years old. I've been stuck out here for like 13 years. It's like a quarter of my life. I wish there was some way through fingerprinting or DNA or some fucking thing that I could get my ID, because it comes to the point where I've tried now for so many years, 9 years, 10 years I've been trying to get my ID. I'm still ID-less. It's not like you lose hope, but the shit just doesn't work. I've never had a Nevada ID previously, so apparently that's more of a problem. So yeah, I'll walk to freaking Israel or something if I have to, swim, whatever it takes to get an ID, but guess what? That shit's not working. And when you tell people you can't get your ID, of course they say that's not true. But it is true. It's not. I mean, anybody who says you just go down and get your ID or your birth certificate, you have to show me how, because I've tried every way. When I was younger, if you lose your driver's license, you go pay $12 to get a new one. Those days are gone. Those days are gone. Apparently they freed up, we just got $8.2 million for the homeless, just got granted to the city or something to this extent.
The Las Vegas City Council approving more than $8 million for homeless assistance.
Exactly how that $8.2 million will be spent is overseen by the Director of Neighborhood Services.
Do I think I'll see any of that? No. Do I have any interest in it? No. Money doesn't mean anything. It has no value to me. I mean that because I can't do anything with it. I mean, really, I can't. I mean, I can't even get a hotel room for a night because I have no ID. I mean, until you have no ID, you won't realize how bad of a problem it is. I just call it the revolving door fuckery. I mean, it sounds bad, but it's totally true. It seems like every time you get up, you're getting kicked down. No material objects have any value to me anymore anyway. I mean, that I've had all my stuff bulldozed and stolen so many times that I'm just holding it so a nice person takes it. I could care less. Yeah. I mean that too. And I've had some valuable things. I mean, you'll be shocked when you have millions of dollars how many friends you have. And then when you have nothing, if I know who your real friends are, you'll be shocked. You know, it's true. And material objects are just material objects. That's it. Not even worth it. You're wasting time.
How'd you first get to Vegas?
Greyhound bus. Had a painkiller problem after I got shot.
10 years ago, Jay was shot in the head in New Hampshire and miraculously survived. But the battle with prescription painkillers that ensued during his recovery caused him to spiral into a cycle of drug addiction and homelessness.
Can you tell us what happened with the shooting?
I got shot in the head. Yeah, I got carjacked, shot in the head in like 03. In the hospital 11 months the first time, died 3 times. I was back there in 06 for 7 months, died a 4th time. Yeah.
So you got carjacked?
Yep. I don't know why I would have argued with anybody. The car was a piece of crap, anyhow. That's reality. Like I said, everything happens for a reason. Be it from God or from what you've done or whatnot, you know.
Where were you?
New Hampshire. Yep. I moved back there from here because my father passed away at 45. My mother was in a wheelchair, so I moved back there to take care of her. We got carjacked like the second day I was back there. But everything happens for a reason. I used to be hateful and derogatory about that. It changes the way you look at all this shit, but it's really irrelevant to me. I don't care. I'm the same as you or anybody else as far as how I look. It is what it is. I'm not angry or hateful towards that person in any way. I mean that. And if I could turn back time and change what's happened, I wouldn't. It's been a fun ride. You should enjoy life every day. And you know, how many people was the last time you walked on real grass with your shoes off and looked at the sky? Probably not very often. Probably a long time ago. You know, people don't appreciate the earth for what it is, I think, too.
So talking more about the painkillers,
Yeah,
did you get prescribed them pretty shortly after the incident?
I issued a gargantuan amount of them, yep.
Do you know which pills?
Oh yeah, many of them. Oxycontin, fentanyl, Roxaset, Dilaudid, Demerol. Yeah, a lot. I see it like 6 Oxy 80s a day, 5 Roxaset 30s, 4 Dilaudid 8s, 4 Pert 15s, fentanyl 300 microgram patch every 3 days. I mean, I was to the point where I couldn't even sleep 4 hours. I'd be sick. I have to do pills. I did heroin to stop doing painkillers. I mean, that's not right, but it was that bad. You know, I mean, it's disgusting. And they're readily available, especially like with my medical past. I mean, I could go to the hospital right now and get a gargantuan amount of pills.
Though Jay's experience is very unique in many ways, one thing that he shared is very common among tunnel people: the constant, endless loop of trying and failing to get an ID.
Like I tried to send off for mine online, and I had the money, the credit card and everything to do it with, but then they asked me, what reason do you want it? I want it for working to show, you know, proof of who I am. And they were like, well, you need to show us proof of who you are to even for us to file. And I'm like, well, what sense is that? You know, like up here it is impossible. I mean, unless you're a hooker, and you know, I'm just too old for that right now.
IDs aside, I was also very curious about how they powered electricity and light in the tunnels. According to the camp's electrician, Boxer, their entire community is powered by a single solar panel.
Solar panels, well, they work by the sun. You get electricity. These big ones, they throw out good current, so you can charge a battery within 1 day. It's so simple because it's just 2 wires that come out of it. One's a hot and one's a cold. All the power you need to power up where you stay at, have light, have a fan in hot days. You can cook, you can run a TV, watch movies. A lot of people throw a lot of TVs away now these days, some good ones. So we end up either selling them or we keep them.
Where'd you get this solar panel from?
Construction sites. It's just because they're cracked, they say, okay, it doesn't look good. We gotta have a nice clean glass. So they change them.
Yeah.
And these are perfectly great. You know, they work.
He says he got the panel from the dumpster of a nearby solar farm, where panels are immediately thrown away by workers if they find cracks, dents, or significant scratches. How many people do you think use the electricity from this panel?
About 11 of us.
How long have you been on the streets for?
Man, I've been on the streets since I was a kid. Never thought I was gonna live to 54, but man got plans for me, so I'm here.
You were on the streets when you were 12, bro?
I was an abused child. My mom's family didn't like me because my grandparents raised me. Because my mom put me up for adoption. And
after being put up for adoption at 9 years old, Boxer entered the foster care system, mostly bouncing from group home to group home, until eventually he was kicked out and left to fend for himself, alone on the streets at age 12. I was gonna ask you, where'd you grow up, man?
I grew up in Emerald City, the city, downtown Seattle.
That's where I'm from.
Really?
From downtown Seattle, yeah.
You know the first city sunk, right?
Yeah, back in the day, the Great Seattle Fire.
Right on top
1912.
Of it. We're built right on top of it. They say if we have one more bad earthquake, Seattle goes under.
Good reason to stay in the tunnels then, huh?
Exactly, for the tunnels. Like they say, what happens in the tunnels stays in the tunnels. Hey, these tunnels go in deep. Some bad people down there too, you know, that escape from prison or whatever, and they can't catch them because they're in the tunnels, you know, because it's dark. So a lot of people got to be careful when you go into a tunnel. Yeah. If you see people there, you need to get permission if you can enter a tunnel, you know, because this is their home, you know. It's like me going to your home, you know. Do I just go in and enter the door? No. I'm gonna ask permission, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's the same way here. Everybody try to live that rule.
After showing me his solar panel setup, Boxer and I enter the tunnels.
When a flood comes, oh boy, it takes care of everything.
He explains that the floods are kind of a double-edged sword. While the floods do end up killing many pets and oftentimes people, they also bring in a great deal of scrap metal that washes up in the drains.
So the floods bring in like a lot of stuff you can scrap.
Right. Brings us wiring. That's all that wire, that's all copper. Copper, well, that's money. They call this the six-way. This is where all our stuff comes.
What do you think's like the most valuable thing that you found down here?
Oh man, you'd be amazed. I found up to knives, I found the swords, I found the axes, I found watches, jewelry. Yeah. Hey, you learn how to survive in this kind of stuff. And that's the best thing about it, learning to survive. It's running water from the other places.
This is from one of the casinos.
Do you guys use this for anything?
Yeah, we wash clothes.
You guys take showers with this?
We take showers on the other one.
Do you want to give us any more? Yeah, sure. We're currently underneath Caesar's Palace. We're pretty much like in the heart of the tunnels right now. And in this area, a lot of people look for different stuff on the ground, like debris that comes in during the floods, so they can take it to the scrapyard or the pawn shop and make some money. So sometimes there's a lot of copper that flows down, sometimes motorcycles flow down, sometimes iPhones and Blackberries come down. Rolexes apparently, what else?
Diamond rings, diamond earrings. You just find all sorts of things. Things you say, hey, I haven't seen that one for a while. Man, that's an old Atari. Wow. You know, you want to take it home, clean it up, and fix it and see what happens. Majority of the time, they'll work if they're not too banged up. Anything you find in the water, you gotta let it dry.
I began to feel nostalgic for a different era, a more innocent time, when I was just a young boy with a metal detector on the shores of New Jersey, searching for hidden treasure beneath the Earth's surface. Whatever happened to metal detector guys anyway? They used to be everywhere. Perhaps they succumbed to online bullying, or reached a consensus as a community that treasure isn't real. Either way, this is a conversation for a different day. I wanted to learn more about Boxer's partner, Andy, who said she's been in the tunnel for over 6 years.
The first time I came down in these tunnels was like 6 years ago or something. If you've never been out on the streets like this, and you're just used to being in your place or whatnot, you think the worst of homeless people, because you really don't know anything about what's going on in their lives or what put them there or anything like that. Most people automatically assume they're all drunks or they're all drug addicts. I know at one time I did. That's not the case. Sometimes real things actually happen to people that put them there that they have no control over.
What do you think put you on the streets in the first place?
A divorce. My husband went back to work after he was on FMLA from work for like 10 months. Because I quit working because I had a baby in 2007. And I refused to go back to work until she was old enough to go to school. My job as a mom is to raise my child. At that same time, my husband and I were kind of bumping heads, and he wasn't sure if he wanted to be married because he felt like I forced him to marry me. So here I am.
How old's your daughter now?
Almost 15.
When's the last time you saw her?
When she was 9.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get hold of them or nothing. I've tried. I had talked to her a lot about her dad and I, but she already knew. She's no dummy.
What's your daughter's name?
Athena. Do you know what Athena means? Or who Athena was? She was the goddess of in battle or something like that, or love and wisdom or something. Her dad told me, as he's playing God of War, mind you, and I was pregnant with her, he's like, yeah, let's name her Athena. I was like, are you serious? No, but it actually fits her very well, and her middle name is Lorraine, L-A-R-E-I-G-N, and that means to rule, and she's very, very good at that. She simmers down her class when they get like excited, you know, after lunch and stuff, and she's really good that way. Everybody has a different idea what addiction is. There's a lot of different reasons people are out here, and it's not always because of drugs or alcohol.
Spatula.
Spatula?
Hell yeah, pancake. I make pancakes here. I cook down here.
As we approached their living quarters, Boxer wanted to give me a tour of his kitchen setup, which honestly wasn't too bad.
This is my stove. I got my little frying pans. I'm a pothead, so this is my buddy when we smoke pot.
Oh shit, that's a bong?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I made that.
That's sick.
High good times.
Is that a real human skull?
No.
I'm just kidding.
After showing me his bong, Boxer and Andy requested that I go to the local grocery store to pick up 3 essential ingredients.
Maple sausage,
flour tacos, and hamburger meat, so that Boxer could cook for us and make his signature dish, tunnel tacos.
Hey, we gotta eat good too, you know?
Yeah.
People don't think we eat good. They think we just jump in the garbage and get garbage stuff and everything. I tell them, no, we're not like that. We're just like everybody else, you know?
In the following minutes, you'll get a step-by-step guide to preparing the ultimate underground delicacy, tunnel tacos. All right, let's dive in.
I barbecue too sometimes. It all depends, you know?
Yeah. Step 1 is to locate a single paper plate to use as a cutting board.
Paper plate.
Then, you carefully slice the maple sausages into 1/4-inch slivers.
Some people like to cook, some don't. I love to cook.
Then, use your fingers to break up the meat. If you're serving more than 2 people, break open another box of sausages.
Down here, well, it's kind of difficult. Depends, you know, if you got gas, you go ahead and do it. But if you don't got gas, you have to go get firewood.
Okay, it's time to put it all on the grill.
Yeah.
So flip the plate. Then, steadily mix the sausages until the pink turns brown. And then once you smell the thick aroma of maple syrup, add hamburger meat. And using a spatula, mix the sausages and the hamburger meat together, allowing the maple syrup molecules to percolate into every last cell of beef.
All you do is just let it fry. The flavor goes into the meat, smell the maple, there you go.
Allow the meat to stew for about 2 minutes. Then, using a separate pan, heat up the flour tortillas. And assuming that you don't run out of propane, nothing else drastic happens, it'll be taco time. Scoop the meat into a tortilla and eat up. It's delicious.
My first tunnel taco. Made straight from the house.
Oh, and I forgot. Rule number 1. Don't think about germs, bacteria, or other foodborne illnesses.
Thank you, babe.
They aren't real.
That was bomb, dude. Thanks.
It
I
is.
appreciate it.
Quick, simple, easy to go.
Yeah.
Boom. You got your nice flavor. You have to throw all this ingredients in it.
Yeah.
With the flavor of the beef and the flavor of the maple sausage.
My only request is that if you make this at home, for yourself or for company,
The juices are so good.
give credit where it's due. The Rio tunnels. As I relaxed and digested the tacos with Boxer and Andy, Glenn, who first brought me into the tunnels the night before, sat down to kick it. Earlier, he'd mentioned that he'd be out of the tunnels by the weekend.
I'm actually leaving there. This week I should be out of there.
But he was still there. I wondered what happened.
So do you plan to stay here in the tunnels?
No, I'm getting out this week.
Where are you going?
Inside, hopefully inside and forward, and to get a job, get my ID. I've got no. I mean, this is it. This is the deadline. I gotta get back on the streets and get my life back together because I can't do this. For many reasons, I want to do it. You know, I want to get back in touch with my children. You know, back into their lives. I hope, and get my shit together. And my daughter. It was the last time I talked to her. It was her 16th birthday, and I went to jail. I was supposed to wire some money. I made some money on the strip selling water, but I wanted to stay for $5 more I needed. And I wired this money, and cop got me and arrested me. I had a no bail bench warrant, and he didn't want to take me to jail when he found out that I was supposed to do that with my daughter, because she must have had a daughter. But he couldn't do nothing about it because no bail bench warrant. I have to go in. He already called it in, and I have to go see a judge. Well, the judge looked at it when she said I had 124 prior trespasses and slapped me with 2 6-month sentences for a year for trespassing, a year in county for trespassing. So he told me, well, what makes you feel any better? I won't take your money. It'll be there when you get out, and you send it to her. I said, it's already too late.
Yeah.
You know, she was supposed to go on this trip for her birthday, and Daddy let her down again. I said, she probably won't ever talk to me again for the rest of my life. And haven't talked to her since. She just turned 23, but she has reached out the last couple months ago to a friend of mine on Facebook twice.
Well, man, I think if everything, you're saying works out, like if you get out of here, you get a spot, you get a job, I can definitely see you reintroducing yourself to your kids' lives, man.
Oh, absolutely. That's all. The main thing I want to do is my kids. That's all I ever wanted to do in my life was watch my kids grow up. And unfortunately, it was something that was taken from me.
I found Glenn's notion that the ability to be there for his kids was taken from him by an external force to be somewhat strange. After all, he is a human being with free will, and he said his 23-year-old daughter had tried to find him on Facebook multiple times. But it seemed like there was something deeper within Glenn that was stopping him from taking that step and keeping him underground.
Everybody has a traumatic experience and got him here in one way or another. Something very, very traumatic has gotten him here. And to get out of that here, it's not an easy task. It's almost impossible without having someone behind you, a sponsor or a family member that really cares. And you gotta have someone there behind you, backing you up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just losing. I haven't seen nobody ever do it on their own by themselves. It's an impossible task.
This in mind, I wanted to figure out how I could help Glenn in a real, tangible way. My first idea was to take him to the DMV and get him an ID, but apparently there was a 3-month wait time for appointments.
You gotta have a phone, you gotta make an appointment. It's 3 months wait. I mean, to wait that 3 months, but what am I gonna do from now to 3 months, you know what I mean?
So I figured the next best thing would be to help him earn some income, which unfortunately would be very difficult. His primary hustle, selling water on the Strip, had already landed him in county jail for a year, and so any future arrests would lead to automatic jail time and also thousands of dollars in fines. And his secondary hustle, scrapping, was also now impossible after Champion Recycling, the closest scrapyard to the Rio tunnels, began requiring ID after a news expose revealed that prolific metal thieves were using their scrapyard to sell stolen copper. But I have an ID and also no warrants in Las Vegas, so that meant that I could be his middleman at the scrapyard, and so we made plans to meet the next morning.
Good morning, Las Vegas. We are tracking breaking news.
Las Vegas reached its hottest day ever on record yesterday, a fiery 117 degrees. Whew.
What is this stuff?
Yeah, it's copper, right? It's low. That's LG, it's low-grade copper. Because it's just got the copper in the middle. If you strip it.
How much do you think we're going to be able to get?
For this?
Yeah.
I believe it's 70 cents a pound. I think we got 100 pounds, I'd say.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, this is a good 60 pounds here.
Yeah?
You probably got another, yeah, close to 100 pounds.
Hell yeah.
These are brass door handles from Caesar's Palace.
Straight from the palace.
Yep, it's my favorite place.
In addition to perhaps 100 pounds of low-grade copper, Glenn also scored about 40 brass door handles from the dumpster of Caesar's Palace. After a quick drive to the scrapyard, we began loading up our metals into a rolling plastic blue dolly.
She don't want to stay still.
To my surprise, Glenn also scavenged a small bag of high-grade wire, which is even more valuable than copper.
That is number 1, and underneath it is HD, which is high-grade wire.
So what do they use these stuff for?
This is for like electrical, right in up to the wall, your wall sockets and stuff. Everything's got a different price to it. Brass is about $2 a pound, so is number 1. The rest is like 70 cents a pound, I think.
Cool.
But we'll see how much we got here.
After loading up our dolly, we rolled it over to the weighing station, which is where workers tell you how much your load is worth.
We're at Champion's Recycling. We're taking our scrap in, trade it in for money.
How much money do you expect to get from this load?
I hope $100. Yeah. Maybe a little bit more.
You want to borrow my ID, make sure it works?
Absolutely. If we can do that, then you'll be in the system in case you ever want to come here yourself.
For sure. So you said most people from the tunnels make their money this way?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, most of them. Yeah.
Do the scrapyards care if like the copper is like stolen or stripped or whatever?
Oh yeah, of course they do. Yeah.
How do they tell?
They can't really. Once it's stripped, all the numbers are off it and everything, so they really can't tell.
So nobody's ever got in trouble like bringing stolen copper here before?
I believe they have actually. Yeah.
Police say these are photos of him scrapping metal. Arrest documents say Warrens sold more than 3 tons of metal between December and May for $23 grand, and say there weren't any receipts.
$20,000 worth of copper.
Yeah. Where do you think they got that from?
The telephone poles, spaghetti bowl, they said, I think. Yeah. Never stole my copper or anything like that. I don't do that. Yeah. But I'd rather do it the hard way and not get in trouble. I've never been in prison. I don't plan on going.
Soon, they called our number and we approached the weigh station.
What's up, man? You sweating, huh?
Immediately, they asked for a valid ID.
You said valid ID?
And after checking my ID, they told me I had to register into their online system so they could keep track of my transactions.
So you have to have ID to scrap here? Yes. Cool.
And after finally weighing our metals, they printed out an itemized receipt to tell us how much we'd earned.
All right, so we're looking at $54.73.
See that? A lot less than I thought it was.
It's pretty good though, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel happy with this amount?
Nope. I'm not happy at all with it. I was expecting much better.
Hey, want to cash this in? Have you been here before? No. Can I see your ID, please? Yeah. Do you have to have ID to scrap here? Yes. Okay. How come?
Has to be, it's required by the state.
Required by the state.
Yes, it is.
After providing an official signature and getting my fingerprint taken, I was officially in the recycling system. And out came $53 of cold hard cash with Glenn's name on it.
Here you go.
All righty.
Cash.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good days, bad days paid.
How do you plan to spend that bread?
Like I said, I'm going to go get some clothes, some shorts and stuff for the summer. Yeah. I got nothing, this is hot as heck. This is what I'm planning on doing.
To my delight, Glenn told me he'd received some great news. Despite the Nevada DMV typically having a 3-month wait time for an appointment, they decided to open up on Saturday at midnight for walk-in appointments only.
The agency recently started offering Saturday walk-ins for new residents.
Glenn was told the line would open at midnight on Saturday night and that doors would officially open at 6 a.m. on Sunday morning. So this meant that if I could accompany him as a housed co-signer, Glenn could get an ID.
We should try and get to the DMV super early on Saturday.
Yeah, at midnight I'll be in line.
Okay.
You don't have to be there at midnight, but I'll be there at midnight.
All right.
Make sure I get in.
I told Glenn to meet me around 2 a.m. on Sunday morning and to bring as many friends as he wanted. He brought along 2 people I'd never seen before, but also who hadn't had ID in over a decade.
So this is the last form of ID that you have?
Yeah.
Expired 2014. Yeah. So you're solid 9 years. Your shit expired. This expired in 2009. Dude, that's almost 2 decades, like solid 15 years, no ID. Hey, so Glenn, what's the plan for those who don't know right now?
Tonight, we're gonna go wait in line at the DMV till they open up in the morning, because they take walk-ins on Saturdays and hopefully get our ID.
When we arrived to the DMV on Flamingo Avenue at 3 a.m., there were already hundreds of people lined up waiting, some sitting in camping chairs, others just laying on blankets, all lined up in front of this empty DMV office, awaiting the rare opportunity to apply for an ID without a 3-month wait.
So it's 3:18 a.m. We're here at the DMV in Vegas. There's about 150 people in front of us in line, already lined up. What time does it open up?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. And so you guys are all gonna apply to get IDs?
Yeah, I hope so, yeah.
Do you expect there to be any issues?
I do.
I don't.
This apparently was Glenn's first time ever going to the DMV, but his friends, on the other hand, had came here on Saturday for the walk-in opportunity 3 separate times and gotten rejected each time.
I mean, really, what the heck is going on here at the DMV? Everybody needs a license. Why is it so freaking hard? Is it this hard in Norway? Isn't there some alternatives? Let's find out.
To get a better idea of the sheer desperation at hand, I figured I'd interview the first guy in line, who told me he'd been there since 9 p.m. the night before.
Yeah, this is my 4th week right here at the DMV just trying to get my ID. It expired, and you got to go through hell trying to get ID right here. Without ID, you can't do nothing in this town. I won a jackpot at the Eureka on Sahara and Sherwood.
Nice.
And they wouldn't give it to me because I didn't have ID. Yeah. It was over $1,200, so they said, go get your ID and we'll hold your jackpot. When you come back, we'll have it for you. So today's the day I'm going to get it.
So this is your 4th attempt. How come the first 3 attempts didn't work?
Because there were so many people, they turned me away.
After 5 more hours of waiting, the line finally began to move.
Please have this ticket out invisible. Please stand in one single file line, one person after the other.
How's the current confidence level about getting the ID?
Yeah, we feel good that we can do it, but
some way I'm going to talk her into it if I have to.
I don't think so.
I mean, I think if he fills out the forms that they request, like the
homeless form.
Normally, in order to get an in-state ID, you have to present a piece of mail with your name on it to verify your in-state home address. But you can get around this by officially declaring homeless status, as long as you have a co-signer who has an in-state residency. And thankfully, Larry Susan is a Nevada man, so he listed his home address as Glenn's address. So soon, we were in, and sat for about a half an hour waiting for our ticket number to be called.
Counter number 8. Now serving G084 at counter number.
As a brief side note, there's almost no place on Earth as miserable and spiritually draining as the Department of Motor Vehicles. I wonder if the workers also feel this way. Either way, that's a story for a different day. Soon, Glenn's number was called, and the process was actually more straightforward than I thought it would be.
For my ID, 'cause I didn't have no documents. He has the paper, I believe.
They asked Glenn a couple questions.
Were you born outside of the United States?
No.
Gave him a temporary ID slip, and said we were almost good to go. All we had left to do was take a picture.
Oh hell yeah! Are you gonna smile for the picture or what?
I thought I was gonna be able to skip that one. I might break the camera.
Smile.
Alrighty, thank you very much.
I could hardly believe it. The process was finally almost complete.
2 weeks in the mail.
In 10 to 14 days in the mail, we'd received Glenn's fresh new ID.
You played it pretty straight-faced for that ID picture.
Yeah, I did.
You gotta play it tough.
Yep, that's right.
If you're smiling and you get pulled over, you're fucked. Right back to county.
Right?
Even just holding his temporary paper ID, I could sense that Glenn felt truly accomplished and like a new future was ahead.
Have it right there, man.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go Monday and get my birth certificate. See about getting housed and find a job, man. Quickly. Get my feet back on, ground. Get back into society. Quit hanging around with all the fucking dope heads.
Aren't you gonna miss the tunnels, bro? It's pretty
nice. No, I ain't gonna miss it one bit. Not at all, buddy. Once I'm inside, I won't even go back to visit.
You're not gonna go chill with Boxer from time to time?
No, because they're not gonna be there either. They're getting out of there too.
See you soon.
Yes.
I told Glenn that I'd be back in exactly 10 days with his ID. He told me that in the meantime, he'd stay sober and look for housing.
And look who's watching all this shit go down with that shit-eating grin looking down at us. Voted top lawyer. Voted by who? A bunch of fucking yahoos with IDs? All right, here we are at the post office right here, where allegedly inside is a letter containing Glenn's fresh ID. Straight from the Nevada Department of Motor Vehicles, delivered to me directly from the state's capital, Carson City. Here we go, baby. I can feel the plastic in here. This is a huge moment. I hope nobody fucking finds out that I have a P.O. box here in Vegas and comes and sends me weird stuff, but what can you do? We need some ASMR for the sound of the envelope opening. I feel like that's a gratifying sound to people above 50. It means good news. Oh shit. There he is. Glenn Carl. That's his full name. I didn't know that. Brown eyes, 140 pounds. Born in 1965. 4 years before the Summer of Love. 1 year after the Civil Rights Act was passed. In the dawn of the Cold War. Honestly, this alone is teaching me so much more about Glenn that I didn't actually know. It's Glenn with 2 N's. And his middle name is Carl. You know where we have to go now? My favorite place on earth. Yes. The tunnel opening next to the Rio. Let's roll.
As I approached the tunnels with Glenn's ID in hand, I felt an altruistic sense of gratification that I didn't feel from my previous videos, which covered the streets of San Francisco and Philadelphia. And here's why. Content culture as a whole, and the way that it's capitalized on the housing crisis by way of making YouTube videos about horrific homelessness is depressing, and I feel complicit in it, and no longer want to use the motif of raising awareness as a justification for inserting myself into the misery of others for the public spectacle, and instead want to make documentaries that actually show you how to help, and hopefully motivate viewers to try what I did in their own communities, ideally with the cameras off.
Hey, Glenn. Yo, Glenn. I don't know if he's here. Hey, Boxer. It's Andrew. I got Glenn's ID. You seen him? All right. Let's wait for them out here. Hey, Glenn.
Very quickly, Glenn appeared, wearing short shorts and rolling a suitcase.
What's up, dude? What's up, brother? How you doing? Good to see you, dog.
Hey, too, man.
Bro, check it out. Got your shit, man.
Ah, there we go. Right on, brother.
That's a good picture of you, bro.
Oh, yeah. Shit, that's bad. Shit, that's horrible.
What's been up, dog?
Nothing, just working.
Yeah?
Make some money, that's it.
Where you been working at?
Selling water on the street.
Fuck yeah, the classic hustle, bro. I'm stoked the ID came so fast.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
You might not be able to tell through the camera, but talking to Glenn there, he seemed guilty about something, and probably not something that he'd want to admit directly to a camera. So I had Susan stand far away so I could talk to Glenn in private.
Any new updates? Anything interesting happened recently down here?
Nah, nothing. Everybody's just been so hot. Everybody's just hiding.
Yeah.
Miserable. That's about it. Haven't been behaving.
You haven't been?
No.
What you been doing?
Just a little bit of mess. Not much. A little bit. It's right in front of you. It's hard, you know, not to say no. That's why I gotta get out of here. Just get in a place to get a job. Tomorrow I gotta go to Social Security. That I gotta do. That's it. My sister's supposed to come down and see me.
Oh, she answered your text?
Yeah.
Glenn told me that his best friend growing up was his older sister, who more or less abandoned him after he began using hard drugs heavily a few years ago. For the past 2 years, he's been trying to get in touch with her, but she never responded, up until she figured out he was taking the steps to get an ID.
She responded to your text?
Oh yeah. I talked to her on the phone.
What did she say?
A couple times. Not much. She was glad I was getting an ID and all that.
That's cool. You haven't talked to her in forever, right?
It was 2 years.
He asked if he could use my phone to call her, which I said, of course.
Hello?
Hey, sis.
What are you doing calling from Seattle, Washington?
Oh, I just flew down here for a day or two. Nah, I'm actually using someone else's phone. I just got my ID today.
Yay!
Yeah. I thought you were coming down to see me.
Yeah, as soon as I got time.
As soon as you got time, what are you so busy doing?
Working.
Oh, about time. That's what I want to do, work.
I'm always fucking working, but I'm always fucking broke. I don't get it.
That's the thing. More you work, the less money you have.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I just called to let you know that I didn't have my phone and I got my ID.
Okay. Well, I'll try to get down there in the next couple days.
Okay, you said that last week.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bro.
Bye, love you.
Bye. Love you more.
Yeah, that's my sister. She's a year and 3 days older than me.
What kind of job are you trying to do?
I'll do anything for right now, you know.
Yeah.
I would like to go in the grower and do some clipping. Learn how to grow weed. Start growing my own shit when I get inside.
Yeah. Well, I hope the ID helps a little bit at least.
Oh, it will. It's a game changer. You'll see. In a couple of days, I'll be totally different. You won't even recognize me.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think I'll be able to recognize you, man.
Well, you might be. Yeah, you'll be able to recognize me. I'm tired of fucking being dirty like this, man. I can't stand it.
You still up for doing like a program or?
Well, kind of, yeah, but I'd rather not, you know. The meetings and shit, groups and shit like that. Like, I want to fucking tell everybody my problems and that I don't know, or listen to everybody else's problems, cry, and, you know. If they didn't have them, you know, the programs and the curfew, I wouldn't mind. I can quit without it, you know.
Yeah.
Just need to get out of here, that's it. Once I'm out of here, wouldn't even care.
Yeah.
Smoke some weed every now and then. I like smoking weed.
Well, shit, bro. Anything else you need from us, man?
Huh?
You need anything else from us in general? Are you good?
I know, I'm good. I'll give you a call in the morning.
All right, Glenn.
I left Glenn feeling proud, but somewhat disheartened, hearing that he was back smoking meth and wasn't willing to enter a program or a sober living. After all, outside of progressive cities like Seattle and Portland, sobriety is typically a requirement for free housing. I guess I had an expectation that Glenn would undergo some kind of instant, overnight transformation after this new reality set in, and that the ID was the only thing actually holding him back from living a normal life. But I know that change is gradual, sometimes non-linear, and above all, must be self-directed, and that no amount of external pressure can actually make someone turn the page. They must do it themselves. People recover at their own pace, and all we can do is provide them with support and compassion. As they said at a harm reduction facility I once visited in San Francisco, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And oftentimes, for people trapped in the cycle of shame that accompanies drug addiction and homelessness, the harder you push for them to make the changes that you think they should make, the harder they end up pulling away. And so I sincerely hope that along with his new ID and positive, re-established communications with his sister, Glenn can take the steps to get himself out of the tunnels. But if he doesn't, I have to make peace with that. I'm also not a social worker, and I've never been homeless or addicted to hard drugs. There's people a lot more qualified than me who do this kind of work that I did every single day with no cameras rolling, motivated only by their desire to help. And those are the people who I really want to extend a platform to. This is Robert Banghart, a former tunnel dweller himself, who is now the outreach director for a nonprofit called Shine a Light, the only organization in Las Vegas exclusively devoted to serving the underground community.
My name is Robert Banghart. I'm the outreach director for Shine a Light. We are at our offices right now, and essentially what we are is an outreach and case management foundation. So we develop relationships with the homeless community through simple acts of kindness, going out every week and just building the friendships and the trust, and then offering a way out. And once they offer that way out, then we walk them through the process for the next 2 years, helping them rebuild their lives. It's our basic bag: granola bar, water, socks, some wipes, toothbrush. We tend to hand out this stuff individually. Batteries, AA, AAA, flashlights, obviously massively important. Narcan, obviously we just talked about the fentanyl. Tend to be 400 milligrams. We're going up to 800 to cover for the fentanyl because it's so massive.
What do you think is the main factor that leads people into the tunnels?
I don't know if there is one main factor. I think everybody tries to put it into a box. I think there's so many different ones. I think the biggest ones, obviously, addiction, mental health, trauma, some bad luck. I mean, the economy that we live in today. Something that I've always kind of rested my head on is that, what is it, like 70% of the country lives paycheck to paycheck? So that means 7 out of 10 people that you know in your life right now could be homeless in a month. It's a scary number.
Yeah. How long did you live down there for?
I was homeless for 5. I lived in tunnels for about 2.5. For me, the tunnels was very much like a place to hide. You know what I mean? It was very dark. It was very separated from everything, and it gave me this illusion that I had some kind of safety. Like I had a ceiling over my head, right? Like I had this roof over my head, whatever it was that I was telling myself in the moment. And they're a little less traveled, obviously. Like people aren't coming in and out like on the surface. Like I was on the surface for a long time, and it was always like the randomness of people. You know what I mean? You just didn't know. But in the beginning, there was structure. There was somebody that was the guy you went to. You had an issue, you had a problem, the whole 9 yards. And by the end, it was just kind of do as you will. The story that I always tell is I was, I don't even know how long I was homeless for. I'm walking down the street, middle of the night, it's dark, and I look to my left and I hear clinging, and it was just 3 people having a sword fight. I mean, full on, you know what I mean? And I was and at that point, I'd been out there so long, it didn't even shock me. You know what I mean? I looked at it, and it wasn't if I saw that today, I'd be staring, oh my God, I can't believe it. Yeah. I just looked over, I saw it, and I just kept walking.
Were they making contact with the swords?
Oh yeah.
So people were getting sliced?
I mean, it was serious. That's all I know.
How many people do you think live in the tunnels right now in Vegas?
I think the number that we're usually pretty comfortable with is about 1,500. Obviously, that number fluctuates. You know what I mean? They're very transient. Not everybody stays, but about 1,500. You got 600 miles of tunnels in Las Vegas, so the overall, that's about 10% of the homeless population in Las Vegas.
So, what does the process of pulling someone out of the tunnel actually look like?
All right. So let's say you say, Rob, I want to get help. I'm ready to go. We have beds waiting for us in detox. A lot of us work in treatment, so we have beds waiting for us every Saturday in detox. We send the referral through, we pull you, drive you right there, we wait with you, we walk you to the front door, we do the paperwork with you, we hand you off to our community partners who are our friends. You know what I mean? We know them very well. They know us. They probably volunteered here. They go through detox 3 to 5 days, standard, depending, and then from there we transition them into a treatment center, 90 days, engage them in treatment, PHP, intensive outpatient, 12-step, whatever pathway to recovery they decide, you know what I mean?
Patients also see a licensed social worker who helps them come up with an aftercare plan.
The entire time they're getting case managed by the facility and then also us as a stopgap. So any roadblocks they run into, we're able to come in and fill those to complete the process for them.
I could hardly believe that this entire time, just a few blocks away from the Rio tunnels, was a well-funded nonprofit that offered free meals, free housing for 90 days, subsidized inpatient treatment, and complete case management to any tunnel dweller that wanted help. But it sort of makes sense. Unlike the controversial harm reduction centers in San Francisco, which provide access to clean needles, crack pipes, and even fresh foil to drug users, Shine a Light has an abstinence-based outreach model, meaning if you want their help, you have to commit completely to detoxing from drugs. And many just aren't ready.
Of the people that you pull out, what percentage do you think end up going back into the tunnels?
There's a stat that we had for our last event. It was of the people that complete detox, 70% stay. Once they've gotten through detox and engaged in some treatment, about 70% stay.
And what percent complete detox?
It's about 66%, ballpark.
Shine a Light is also partnered with several employers around the city, and so after treatment, they directly set their patients up with jobs, which usually means entry-level positions in and around Las Vegas.
I mean, we're talking anything from customer service to retail to warehouse, you know what I mean, like Walmart, all the basic jobs you would get like if you were coming out of high school. But like at the same time, a lot of these guys are skilled, had careers, and can go back to them, right? On some level, so they don't need those entry-level jobs, you know what I mean?
What role does having valid ID play in this whole situation?
It's important. I think what I see is that out there they tend to gravitate towards things, right? Oh, I can't get off the streets because I don't have an ID. But we're missing the whole underlying idea, right? Like, you've got addiction, you've got mental health, you have trauma, you have these things that we need to address. While you're doing that, we'll get you your IDs, right? If I handed every single person on the streets an ID right now, how many would be off the streets tonight? None. So it's not the problem, you know what I mean? The problem is their coping mechanisms, their thinking, their thought processes, right? The things that have happened to them. How do we walk them through that? How do we engage them? Because they've been so disassociated for so long, right? The ID is important. It's a benchmark, 100%, right? It gives you a certain amount of pride. I have an ID. It makes you feel like you're a part of the community, 100%, right? But that's not the underlying issue, right? Like that's the Band-Aid on top.
A lot of people that we talked to down there, almost everybody that we talked to, only one had an ID, and the rest said, oh, I can't do anything, I have to stay here because without an ID I can't apply for housing and I can't take advantage of some of the state and government funded programs, and we can't, legally take anything to the scrapyard and make money, and we can't, get day jobs because nobody will let us work without ID. And they make it seem like that's the only thing that's keeping them down there.
Is that a roadblock in certain ways? 100%. Is that the thing that's keeping them down there? No, I don't believe so. That's just my opinion, right? Like, if I'm motivated and you offer me 90 days in treatment and you're gonna help me get a job, I'm gone.
So they don't need IDs to come here?
No, never. None of them have IDs.
So you'll get somebody a job
100%.
And give them a place to live
100%.
With no ID?
100%. Here's the deal. You're going to go through 90 days of treatment. While you're in treatment, you're getting your ID. It doesn't matter if you're in Hawaii, whatever state you're in, we're getting it. It's a done deal. Like, that is the easiest part of the process. Birth certificate, we'll get your social. Social will take longer because it's by mail, but it's free. It's coming. You don't need a social security card to work. Your ID is easy. Super easy. Birth certificate first. Always birth certificate first, because you need that to get the ID, right? You need to get the other items. But it's easy. And while you're doing that, you're not paying anything for the 90 days. Everything is taken care of. After those 90 days, we put you in a sober living for 90 days. That's 180 days. You don't have to worry about paying a single bill.
Do you think a lot of them kind of like being down there?
I can't speak for everybody, right? Like, was there a period of time when I enjoyed being down there? Yes, I did, because I was out of control. I was able to do whatever I wanted to do, and things were going well, right? But then eventually the time comes, right, where it wears out. And I don't know how to get out anymore. I don't know what to do, and I'm just lost. That's the trauma, right? My world has become this small. It's all I know. And everything starts to seem monumental, right? Then it's the ID. That's the reason why. It couldn't be that I can't get out, right? It's got to be the ID. It's got to be, I can't leave this dog, or I can't leave this friend, or this or that, right? Like, there's always a reason that's blocking them from coming out. But I can't tell you how many people have, like, just walked away from it all and come in and done it.
So you think they hold these roadblocks, purposely in front of them to say, oh, I can't do this because I have this monumental issue that I have to work through, because deep down they enjoy the comfort and routine?
whether it's enjoy or they're just used to, right? Like I'm kind of cautious to use the word enjoy because it's just what they're used to. It's what they know. If it takes 21 days or whatever it is to develop a habit and you've been out there for 10 years, it's ingrained. As miserable and as hellish as it looks to us from the outside, it's what they know.
Do you know Glenn?
I do.
Have you tried to help Glenn before?
100%. Glenn's never come out.
How come?
A lot of those guys in that particular tunnel are old timers. They've been out there for a long time. You know what I mean? So I think at some point you just accept it, right? And we're just still working on our way, trying to figure out how to crack that show. You know what I mean?
What is the way?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. There's one-off way, right? We just focus on kindness, and every time I talk to them, we make sure that we're sitting with them, we're meeting just like this, eye to eye. You know what I mean? I'm not standing over them and constantly looking for those little ways to get in. You know what I mean? Like on my route, there's people that like when they see me, they come out with their fists up. They're like, "Come on, Rob, today's the day," because they know I like to joke around. So they joke. We have this banter, right? That's been built up over years, right? My thing with them is like I tell them like, "You're gonna call me, right?" He's like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Yeah. You're always playing hard to get. You're never gonna call me." You know what I mean? Like, but I couldn't say that till if I went to another route where they don't know me, I wouldn't say that. You know what I mean?
Have you tried to help Boxer or Andy before?
100%.
I'm not sure why he didn't mention this, but beyond trying to get Boxer and Andy into treatment, he actually saved both of their lives by spearheading a 28-hour tunnel rescue.
A stunning survival story tonight after one community group says a couple spent at least 28 hours in the water after being washed away in a flood tunnel near the Rio on Friday.
We are told both ended up being safe. The group Shine a Light, which goes into tunnels to offer support and resources to those living here, discovered a couple floating down a flooded tunnel on a mattress.
At first they thought they were going to be okay, then something hits their mattress, they wake up, they realize it's too late, and now they're floating down.
As the rope rescue was taking place, the couple had already floated down the tunnel under Caesar's Palace.
They got off the mattress, they had 2 cats. The gentleman grabbed his wife, obviously she was not very strong, so he had to hold her, and finally he found a spot where he could grab something and hold on. They just sat tight.
Sat tight and held on to something sticking out, maybe a pipe, for a stunning 28 hours, not being able to move. When the water finally calmed down, the couple walked back up the tunnel where they entered it.
The nonprofit Shine a Light offers people in tunnels a life out of the tunnels if they want it, with immediate substance abuse treatment, help with housing, help with a job.
100%.
You try to give them a job, house?
Same offer, always the same offer. You know what I mean? And talked to them, spent hours with Boxer. The kittens, I mean, just non-stop, nothing.
Yeah. What can you tell us about Jay?
My name is Jay. I've been down here like probably 9 years.
Just been out there for a long time, you know what I mean? And just not really willing to accept the help for whatever reason. It's unfortunate because it's pretty close to our hearts, you know. We've been visiting him for the better part of 6-7 years now, you know what I mean? And we've kind of watched him decline, but you know, we just pray that he comes out someday, hopefully. Come on, dude.
There is nothing that...
Perfect, let's go. There's nothing holding you back, let's go.
It is a total change of life. 100%. And this is a good
positive change.
No, you're exactly right. 100%. I agree with that too. I really do. Because money and stuff like that.
Jay, let's go.
When you say unwilling to accept help, what do you mean by that?
I mean, we've tried from every angle, you know what I mean? Every angle, we've offered him everything. We've talked to him hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, explained it to him, like, there's really nothing else we can do other than tackle him, you know what I mean?
He told me that he's been waiting for his ID for 10 years.
10 years I've been trying to get my ID. I'm still ID-less.
Yeah.
Comes in, it could happen in 30 days. I've told him that 1,000 times. Think about this, what's the biggest anxiety in your life right now?
Probably rent.
Never have to worry about that ever again. Never. Just that alone, right? Never paying a bill. You don't ever have to be anywhere ever again on time. There's a certain twisted freedom in that, right? There's a twisted freedom that you've let go of society. You've just let go. And you're living very primal, very what's next, what's next. There's not a whole lot of planning, right? All that, it's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I lived in an RV for maybe 2.5 years, and there was something sort of exhilarating about knowing that, okay, if I have this and I can pay for gas, I never have to check into a hotel, never have to pay rent, never have to check in with anyone. I can just go to a parking lot and sleep here tonight, somewhere else tomorrow night. And there is something that's like, I wouldn't even call it twisted for myself, because obviously I wasn't what they would call homeless, but you know, I still didn't have a house or an apartment or a place to go back to. I didn't have running water, didn't have showers. Showering at Planet Fitness, going to different gas stations every day and surviving off beef jerky and mixed nuts, I felt like I had escaped this society's matrix or something. And I would see people going to work every day and think, thank God that's not me. And if you think about, for Jay, like, have you tried to get him a place before or a job?
We have told him we have a job lined up for him. Once he completes treatment, we've taken him to treatment. He doesn't stay. Not yet, you know what I mean? We'll keep working on him.
You ever get frustrated?
I mean, I think it's part of human nature, right? Like, I want the best for them because I know what's on offer for them, but like, it's that balancing act of understanding that, like, I don't really play a part in that piece of them getting to a place where they're willing to accept help. I don't, right? Like, they have to get there. I'm just going to keep showing up and keep offering it and keep looking for ways to poke at them and tell them that I love them, you know what I mean? Be that safe space when they're ready.
I guess they'd have to really, like, digest the first step.
100%.
And just be like, I'm powerless. I can't help myself.
Yeah, and let's be fair, like, there's no part of them that doesn't understand that, right? They understand that. It's just, they don't want it yet. I understood I was powerless forever. I even understood my life was unmanageable. I just didn't want to stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't a thorough first step experience, right? It was like 95. I still thought, like the jaywalker, I thought it'll be different this time. Just one more time.
I think it takes a truly, like, horrific, disastrous life experience for you to actually want to be sober and enter recovery. At least for me it did. I was like, I had to hit a point where I was like, I have to stop or my life is gonna actually fall apart. Sometimes you know you have one shot left.
Yeah.
And that's not to say you wish something bad would happen to anyone, but until they I think they reach a moment where they're like, holy shit, I'm gonna die if I don't get clean, or at least fade into oblivion somehow, I don't think they'll do it.
3 people tried to murder me, succeeded, and I was brought back to life. Like, that's what it takes for a guy like me to get sober. So who am I? You know what I mean? Like, when it comes to other people's experience, I don't know, right?
Robert says his journey into sobriety began when he was attacked by 3 men in the tunnels.
3 guys attacked me, axe, that's what all this is. Hit me with an axe, I got a dent in my skull, stabbed me in the leg, the whole 9 yards. Broke the jaw, lacerated liver, swelling of the brain, and dragged me on the train tracks, left me for dead. It's a couple 100 feet from my tunnel. I'm laying dead in the train tracks. The cops show up, they drag me off, they revive me. Train comes. They revive me, I wake up, I'm screaming, they give me a shot of morphine, I die again. Then I wake up in the hospital 3 days later. I wake up on my life support, I got a nurse yelling at me, screaming at me. She's trying to calm me down because I'm ripping everything out, right? I feel a hand touch my forehead and I feel the presence of God. Right? What my God is. I felt it.
Well, congrats, man, that's crazy. But I mean, obviously, if you've been in recovery rooms, you understand that that experience is different for everybody, but that moment is shared. Something so chaotic happens that you have to analyze what behavior and what factors put me in that situation. Because obviously, it wasn't your fault that those guys attacked you. But
it was. Let's be fair.
No, but I mean, 3 guys tried to kill you. That's not normal.
I get that piece of it, but I also understand my part. So it wasn't like I was just some guy that fell on my hard times and just was sitting there not bothering nobody. No, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of that too, let's be fair, right? Like,
you do now, but I think what a selfish, addictive person might do is they'd wake up and say, fuck those guys, I'm gonna go get loaded. I just survived something shitty, I need to celebrate.
And I did, let's be fair. But the swelling of the brain, memory loss. So I would have a resentment, because I have a gun buried in the desert out there somewhere. I don't even know if the gun works, like, let's be fair, like, I'm no badass at all. But like, my mind is telling me, I'm gonna get those fuckers, I'm gonna get those fuckers, always those fuckers, right? The swelling of the brain, literally every 10 minutes, I would forget everything. It's an amazing, for you new in recovery, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it, it hurts like a motherfucker. I had like ringing inside my head for 3 months straight. It sounded like that train, but it was amazing. It gave me a free pass for 3 months. And by that time I was already like coming out of treatment, living in sober living, starting to buy in, and I said, okay.
Obviously, I'm sure you've seen the YouTube videos and like some of the local folklore, and this concept of mole people has become this urban legend in Las Vegas.
Trash.
We were talking to people on the streets, random people on the strip, and they were like saying they make like child snuff films down there.
Trash.
Someone said something that someone actually said they glow in the dark because they haven't seen sunlight.
Trash.
In like a year.
They're not real people. They're all like dismembered. It's all like a big incest ring of just rat people underground. Like,
it's interesting how the oversaturated media of the tunnel has kind of created this urban legend that it's like the sketchiest people and that it's this like vast underworld of criminals.
It's the fear of the unknown. There's not one place in this world where that hasn't had an effect, right? It's the fear of the unknown, so I assume. I assume because I heard you know what I mean? Like, that's really why the name is so important to us, right? We want to shine a light on this, a true and honest message of what it really is, right? We take out as many people as we can from all walks of life to show them. Because what happens is then they become our advocates, or they become the advocates for the people that are living there. That this is really what's going on. It's not this crap you're telling yourself. Like, I hate that term, Mo people. It makes my fucking skin boil.
How come?
It's just like, it's disrespectful, right? It's no different. It's like a, I don't want to, it's like a, like it's a lack of understanding. It's a lack of empathy. Because those are somebody's brother, sisters, uncles, cousins, grandmothers that fell on hard times for whatever the reason, right? And there's not one family that I know of that hasn't been touched by addiction, mental health, bad luck, right? And we all know what they feel. We all know what they feel. We just haven't all felt it at the same exact time to this extreme, right? We all know hopelessness. We all know depression. We all know isolation, separation, disassociation, right? Lack of hope, thinking we're powerless, thinking it's not gonna work. Like, of course, those are common, right? On a daily basis. But they're feeling it in that perfect storm all in one time. You know what I mean? How are they gonna get out of it? How powerless did you feel in those moments when you didn't have hope, right? Somehow you were able to walk through it, right? But they're not, because it's so overwhelming and all happening at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, to say they're mole people, it's just another way to hold them down.
Yeah.
When the reality is the shame is on those people, right? Because they're not doing anything to fix the problem.
Yeah.
All right? So instead of looking at myself, I'm going to shame you, and my hands are clean.
If you'd like to donate to Shine a Light, you can go to their website, shinealightlv.com/donate. I'll leave the link in bio. And if you live in the Vegas area and want to help, maybe consider volunteering on Wednesdays. Anywho, after a week of covering the tunnels, I was ready to switch gears, and received an anonymous tip by the way of email that DARE, you know, the widely mocked Reagan-era school program that aimed to fight the war on drugs by teaching middle school students about the dangers of marijuana, cocaine, graffiti, gangs, and beyond, would be relaunching after losing its federal funding in 2006, when studies emerged showing that the number of juvenile drug users actually increased after DARE's nationwide launch in the early 90s. Now, apparently though, DARE is coming back as a result of fentanyl and vaping, and their commencement ceremony was to be held just a mile away from the tunnels at the soon-to-be-demolished Tropicana Casino. So we packed our bags, headed over there, and immediately spotted a pro-drug protester outside the building, who apparently had just been kicked out.
Daryl Gates said, quote, "Every drug user should be shot and killed in the streets."
But I do believe that we've got to get serious.
That is the center and core tenet of the DARE philosophy, by associating drugs with violence. Drugs are not violent. Try doing some. Legalize heroin! Every drug should be legal!
This is Haley, the only protester outside the International DARE Conference in Las Vegas, where inside, hundreds of future DARE officers are being trained by seasoned veterans, like Retro Bill, who once told me, by way of a roll-in TV set in 5th grade, not to do cocaine or join a gang.
These illegal drugs are always bad for you. Marijuana is also a harmful drug. Say no! Get the police involved to help you solve gang problems in your community.
And somehow, there I was, face to face with him in my hotel room.
Retro Bill, capital R-E-T-R-O, capital B-I-L-L, also known as the International DARE Safety and Self-Esteem Buddy, official title. I've been motivationally speaking professionally for 25 years. We never know. You could watch a documentary on television. You can see a news segment on TV, right? You can read a book. You can read a quote, right? You can hear a speaker speak. It could be a teacher, a counselor, a police officer, a Retro Bill, and all of a sudden, just know this, something will click for somebody in a positive way.
Retro Bill sees the DARE program as an opportunity to stop children from heading down a path of drugs and destruction. Haley, on the other hand, does not agree.
Ignorance is killing people. Poverty is killing people. Heroin is a medicine. Look up Dr. Barbara Browers. Dr. Barbara Browers is a physician and scientist in Switzerland using heroin to treat schizophrenia and other psychiatric.
It's a pretty strong medicine though.
Well, yeah, but anything can be, alcohol is a pretty strong medicine, but yet we still can drink beer. You can have beer, you can have jungle juice, moonshine stuff, like.
If you'd like to see our complete documentary, DARE Conference, which features interviews with the president of DARE, Retro Bill, the DARE Student of the Year, DARE Officer of the Year, the captain of DARE Mexico, and other concerned school security officers, go to our Patreon, www.patreon.com/channel5. Again, that's www.patreon.com/channel5. As many of you know, we are a completely independent, primarily crowd-funded news organization, and most of that funding comes from our Patreon, where supporters pay $5 a month to gain access to an exclusive catalog of unreleased, extended, and uncensored content, as well as a behind-the-scenes show called C5 Newsroom, which you can only see on Patreon. Anyways, if you enjoyed this documentary and want to keep us on the road, consider supporting. Have a nice day.
Channel 5 live worldwide, Hollywood and Vine. Fuck the authority, Channel 5 News. Channel 55. We don't fuck with custers. And 5 is the best number.
Now I know you think you all that, and maybe I should tip my hat. Fuck that. Fuck you in the horse you rode in on.
Also, I have some great news. Channel 5 is officially worldwide. That's right, this entire documentary is available in 5 different languages: Spanish, Japanese, French, German, and of course, Brazilian Portuguese. I can't come to Brazil yet, but I figured this is the next best thing. So if you want to see Glenn get an ID in Japanese, or you're just curious what a German boxer might sound like, it's super easy. Go to the bottom right corner of the video where you see the settings icon, hit that button, then meander on up to where it says audio track. From there, you'll see all the different languages that this video is available in. Give it a try. And this isn't just some AI bullshit. We hired real teams of human voice actors from across the whole world to join our new Channel 5 translation teams. Announcement 2. For the past 3.5 years, maybe almost 4 years now, I've been working on a secret film. I don't want to tell you the name yet, but I've been working behind the scenes in complete secrecy on a pretty massive project. And I'm so excited to say that the first draft of the movie is finished. It's finished, it's complete, but I'm not ready to put it out yet. I want to do like a test screener, so I booked a theater in Boston called the Chevalier. The Chevalier? June 13th, Chevalier Theater. I'm basically just gonna premiere the rough draft of the movie for a live audience. I'm gonna be there doing a Q&A, it's gonna be a good time. So if you wanna come to my movie screening, you can buy tickets to Untitled Andrew Callaghan film screening at the link in the description.
Canal 5 en vivo en el mundo, Hollywood y Vine. Al carajo la autoridad, Canal 5 Noticias. Canal 55, no nos llevamos con lamebotas. El 5 es el mejor número.